My topic is business to business, B2B, advertising in detail explain, and let's go to the topic and let's go to the start. B2B advertising, also known as business to business advertising, refers to the marketing efforts that companies direct towards other businesses or organizations, rather than targeting individual consumers. It involves marketing goods, services, or solutions to help companies improve their operations, reduce costs, and increase profits. B2B advertising can take on a variety of forms, including print, digital, or broadcast media, as well as events and trade shows, direct mail campaigns, and email marketing. The messaging in B2B advertising is typically focused on the features and benefits of the product or service being offered, as well as the ROI that can be expected. Prospective customers are often decision makers within organizations, which requires a more sophisticated approach to advertising than one aimed at consumers. Business-to-business advertising refers to any marketing efforts directed toward other businesses rather than to individual consumers. Business-to-business advertising, or B2B advertising, takes place between companies that are typically found in the middle of the supply chain for any product or service that does not reach the average consumer. B2B advertising may involve the promotion of products such as day-to-day office supplies, specific parts used in another company's product, or services such as human resources consulting or logistics that are primarily designed for businesses. Business-to-business advertising refers to any marketing efforts directed toward other businesses rather than to the end consumer. B2B marketing aims to reach the employees of a business responsible for making capital or purchasing decisions. Just like a business-to-consumer advertising strategy, effective B2C campaigns involve knowing the correct audience, crafting messaging, and building a strong digital and SEO strategy. As the name suggests, business-to-business marketing refers to the marketing of products or services to other businesses and organizations. It holds several key distinctions from B2C marketing, which is oriented toward consumers. In a broad sense, B2B marketing content tends to be more informational and straightforward than B2C. This is because business purchase decisions, in comparison to those of consumers, are based more on bottom-line revenue impact. Return on investment, ROI, is rarely a consideration for the everyday person, at least in a monetary sense, but it's a primary focus for corporate decision-makers. In the modern environment, B2B marketers often sell to buying committees with various key stakeholders. This makes for a complex and sometimes challenging landscape, but as data sources become more robust and accurate, B2B marketers' ability to map out committees and reach buyers with relevant, personalized information has greatly improved. Marketing for any company that sells to other companies. B2B can take many forms: software as a service, SaaS, subscriptions, security solutions, tools, accessories, office supplies, you name it. Many organizations fall under both the B2B and B2C umbrellas. B2B marketing campaigns are aimed at any individuals with control or influence on purchasing decisions. This can encompass a wide variety of titles and functions, from entry-level end users all the way up to the C-suite. B2B marketing strategy, competition for customers, and their attention, is high. Building out a B2B strategy that delivers results requires thoughtful planning, execution, and management. Here's a high-level look at the process B2B companies use to stand out in a crowded marketplace. Develop an overarching vision. Fail to plan, plan to fail. This truism remains eternally accurate. Before you start cranking out ads and content, you'll want to select specific and measurable business objectives. Then, you'll want to establish or adopt a framework for how your B2B marketing strategy will achieve them. For more insights on strategy, for both your content and your execution, market and buyer persona. This is an especially vital step for B2B organizations. Whereas B2C goods often have a wider and more general audience, B2B products and services are usually marketed to a distinct set of customers with particular challenges and needs. The more narrowly you can define this audience, the better you'll be able to speak to them directly with relevant messaging. We recommend creating a dossier for your ideal buyer persona. Research demographics, interview people in your industry, and analyze your best customers to compile a set of attributes you can match against prospects to qualify leads. Effective marketing is difficult to get right. Between creative demands, budget limits, and channel decisions, marketers have a lot to juggle when developing their marketing strategy. The biggest determinant of effective marketing, however, is your audience. If you're not properly targeting your buyer persona, your promotions and advertisements will likely fall on deaf ears. You might as well not be marketing at all. Where target audiences vary the most, though, is between individual consumers and businesses. Some companies serve individual shoppers, while others cater to companies and organizations. Marketing to businesses is very different from marketing to individual consumers. That's why an entirely different marketing method, B2B marketing, exists, and that's why we built this guide. By the end of this article, you'll have a better understanding of B2B marketing, the most effective B2B marketing strategies, and how you can tap into and convert your business audience. B2B, business to business, marketing refers to any marketing strategy or content that is geared towards a business or organization. Companies that sell products or services to other businesses or organizations, versus consumers, typically use B2B marketing strategies. The purpose of B2B marketing is to make other businesses familiar with your brand name, the value of your product or service, and convert them into customers. HubSpot is an example of a company that engages in B2B marketing. HubSpot's customers are other businesses, not individual consumers. Therefore, all of our marketing efforts can be classified as B2B. B2B and B2C, business to consumer, marketing are very different. B2B and B2C marketing differ in their respective strategies and applications, as well as in their audiences and how they communicate with them. B2B marketing targets the needs, interests, and challenges of individuals who are making purchases on behalf of, or for, their organization, rather than for themselves, thus making the organization the customer. Here are a few examples of B2B companies. A co-working space that leases office spaces to remote teams and freelancers, like Spaces. An on-demand order fulfillment, warehousing, and screen printing service, like Printful. A marketing software company that sells social media management tools, lead generation software, and other marketing tools to businesses and organizations, like HubSpot. B2C marketing targets the needs, interests, and challenges of individual consumers who are making purchases on behalf of, or for, themselves, thus making the individual the customer. Here are a few examples of B2C companies. An e-commerce company that sells office supplies to remote or self-employed individuals, like Poppin. A store that sells t-shirts and other clothing and accessories, like Target. A music platform that sells streaming subscriptions, like Spotify. Take a look at this chart comparing B2B and B2C customers. Business to business, B2B, also called B2B, is a form of transaction between businesses, such as one involving a manufacturer and wholesaler, or a wholesaler and a retailer. Business to business refers to business that is conducted between companies, rather than between a company and individual consumer. Business to business stands in contrast to business to consumer, B2C, and business to government, B2G, transactions. Business to business, B2B, is a transaction or business conducted between one business and another, such as a wholesaler and retailer. B2B transactions tend to happen in the supply chain, where one company will purchase raw materials from another to be used in the manufacturing process. B2B transactions are also commonplace for auto industry companies, as well as property management, housekeeping, and industrial cleanup companies. Meanwhile, business-to-consumer transactions, B2C, are those made between a company and individual consumers. Business-to-business transactions are common in a typical supply chain, as companies purchase components and products such as other raw materials for use in the manufacturing processes. Finished products can then be sold to individuals via business-to-consumer transactions. In the context of communication, business to business refers to methods by which employees from different companies can connect with one another, such as through social media. This type of communication between the employees of two or more companies is called B2B communication. The Internet provides a robust environment in which businesses can find out about products and services and lay the groundwork for future business-to-business transactions. Company websites allow interested parties to learn about a business's products and services and initiate contact. Online product and supply exchange websites allow businesses to search for products and services and initiate procurement through e-procurement interfaces. Specialized online directories providing information about particular industries, companies and the products and services they provide also facilitate B2B transactions. Special considerations. Business-to-business transactions require planning to be successful. Such transactions rely on a company's account management personnel to establish business-client relationships. Business-to-business relationships must also be nurtured, typically through professional interactions prior to sales, for successful transactions to take place. Traditional marketing practices also help businesses connect with business clients. Trade publications aid in this effort, offering businesses opportunities to advertise in print and online. A business's presence at conferences and trade shows also builds awareness of the products and services it provides to other businesses. Business-to-business, B2B. Business-to-business transactions and large corporate accounts are commonplace for firms in manufacturing. Samsung, for example, is one of Apple's largest suppliers in the production of the iPhone. Apple also holds B2B relationships with firms like Intel, Panasonic and semiconductor producer Micron Technology. B2B transactions are also the backbone of the automobile industry. Many vehicle components are manufactured independently, and auto manufacturers purchase these parts to assemble automobiles. Tires, batteries, electronics, hoses and door locks, for example, are usually manufactured by various companies and sold directly to automobile manufacturers. Service providers also engage in B2B transactions. Companies specializing in property management, housekeeping, and industrial cleanup, for example, often sell these services exclusively to other businesses, rather than individual consumers. Business-to-business advertising works. While business-to-consumer, B2C, advertising focuses on reaching a household's decision-maker, business-to-business advertising focuses on reaching the employees of a business responsible for making capital decisions, or the individual who is in charge of purchases. While consumers may be able to make rapid decisions on whether a product is of interest, businesses are often slower and have to go through a more complicated process because the cost of products for a business can be high and may require approval from several levels of management. For example, when Apple announced its transition to using Intel processors in its MacBook computers, this counted as a business-to-business transaction, since Apple purchased the processors from Intel, rather than an end consumer such as you or I. Since Intel does not target the end consumer, any advertising it does is considered B2B advertising to other computer or electronics companies to purchase its niche technology. Other business-to-business advertising targets include institutions, such as schools and hospitals, government and government agencies, and companies that utilize various products and materials in their operations, such as manufacturers. Venues. Because B2B advertising differs so much from B2C advertising, companies will need to pay closer attention to the media choices they have, as suitable venues may be harder to come by. For example, will local newspapers reach enough decision makers, or could a trade publication offer better returns? Will digital or mobile advertising work better than print? Could expensive radio or television advertising be worth the investment? Knowing the customer will help guide advertising spending decisions. For example, according to the Washington Post, nearly two-thirds of U.S. small business owners are older white men, which may explain why national sports media outlets, such as satellite radio, frequently feature services for small businesses. Messaging. Before committing to a venue, a B2B advertiser must know his or her target market and audience to formulate a message. This can be achieved with research and surveys that are either purchased or self-performed. A message should also be tested to see if it appeals to the target market. With such information, an advertiser can formulate a strategy that features a primary goal, such as increasing business leads, conversions, or overall traffic. Any message should convey a company's values, its product's best features, and the company's value proposition, such as whether the business and its products or services will help customers save time and/or money. The digital space. An advertiser should be able to translate his or her message and value proposition online through the company's own digital marketing channels, such as their website and social media platforms. Customers must be able to find a B2B company online at a website that displays the company's brand story. An advertiser must also have a content strategy that seeks to serve incumbent and potential customers with expertise and solutions. It should utilize articles, videos, testimonials, and more content types built around a search engine optimization (SEO) strategy that seeks to answer questions customers may have. Advertisers should also utilize their websites and social media presence to engage with customers. B2B marketing tactics and channels. Once you've established solid intel around your target audience, you'll need to determine how and where you intend to reach them. The knowledge you've attained through the previous step should help guide this one. You'll want to answer questions like these about your ideal customers and prospects. Where do they spend their time online? What questions are they asking search engines? Which social media networks do they prefer? How can you fill opportunity gaps that your competitors are leaving open? What industry events do they attend? Assets and run campaigns. With a plan in place, it's time to put it into motion. Follow best practices for each channel you incorporate into your strategy. Critical ingredients in effective campaigns include a creative approach, useful insights, sophisticated targeting, and strong calls to action. Measure and improve. This is the ongoing process that keeps you moving in the right direction. In the simplest terms, you want to figure out why your high-performing content performs and why your low-performing content doesn't. Understand this, and you'll more wisely invest your effort and budget. The more vigilant you are about consulting analytics and applying your learnings, the more likely you are to continually improve and surpass your goals. Even with a well-researched foundation, the creation of content and campaigns inherently requires a lot of guesswork until you have substantive engagement and conversion data to rely on. Let your audience dictate your path. Consult metrics to pinpoint the channels, topics, and media that resonate most, then double down. Meanwhile, cut or alter anything that isn't performing. B2B marketing tactics and content formats. Here are a few of the most common B2B marketing tactics and content formats to consider including in your strategy. Blogs, a mainstay for almost any content team. Regularly updated blogs provide organic visibility and drive inbound traffic to your site. Your blog can house any number of different content types and formats. Search, SEO best practices change as often as Google's algorithm, a lot, making this a tricky space to operate in. But any B2B marketing strategy needs to account for it. Lately the focus has been shifting away from keywords and metadata, and more toward searcher intent signals. Social media, both organic and paid, should be in the mix. Social networks allow you to reach and engage prospects where they're active. B2B buyers increasingly use these channels to research potential vendors for purchase decisions. White papers, ebooks, and infographics, standalone assets containing valuable information. These downloadable documents can either be gated, meaning a user must provide contact information or perform another action to access, or ungated. Often used as a B2B lead generation tool. Email, while its effectiveness is waning somewhat in the age of spam filters and inbox shock, email won't disappear anytime soon. Video, this content type can be applied in several of the previous categories mentioned here. Blogs, social media, emails, but is worth singling out because it is the driving force behind many successful B2B strategies. Live stream events and webinars. LinkedIn Live videos get, on average, 7x more reactions and 24x more comments than native video produced by the same broadcasters. LinkedIn Live isn't just great for promoting an event. Take advantage of this feature for demonstrating expertise, showcasing innovation, or giving LinkedIn members a behind-the-scenes view into your company's culture. Case studies and customer testimonials. Establishing credibility is a must for B2B marketing strategists. Case studies and customer testimonials may not be the most creative ventures, but they're crucial nonetheless. Podcasts. Podcasting is projected to become even more popular than it already is. Got a podcast geared toward a professional audience? Thinking about starting one? Grow your listening audience by marketing your podcast on. They are driven by emotional and cognitive motivations. Thank you for watching the video and subscribe the channel.